What's in a name? A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. But what about a shoe? Hello everyone, my name is Allan Sko. But for many years of my life, I've been known as Allan Scho, much to my consternation. You see, my name used to be spelled S-C-H-O-U, Sko. But due to its Danish heritage and my residual nature in Australia and England, I've so often been called Scho. Now get me not wrong, there's nothing wrong with the name Scho. If I was born S-H-O-E, or by some weird circumstance S-H-O-O, then a proud Scho I would be. I would alight myself to the rooftops and shout with great pride, I am Allan Scho! But I'm not. I'm Allan Sko, and a proud Sko I am too. But as a result of this quirk of spelling, I've gone my entire life dogged by Scho. At a very early age, heading into primary school was when it was first made apparent to me that my fellow Australian child brethren had no idea how to pronounce it. Oh, children were one thing, but I was experiencing it from teachers, full-grown adults that I was meant to look up to. Every day, without fail, with the register, I would wait as we went down the list alphabetically, cringing as we get closer and closer to S, until finally I heard Allan Scho, and then the titters would start. Sure as anything, little titters, and then, it's Sko, actually, yeah, I'm here. I would dread a new teacher. Every single time. And the biggest indignity of all was my form teacher, who, despite being a man who I discovered changed his own name from Ivor Boyle to Ivor O'Boyle, would consistently get my name wrong. About 27 times in a row before he just gave up and started calling me Allan. This was to dog me even further. As I got through the educational system, passing my GCSEs and A-levels of England, before returning back to the home soil of Canberra for university, as I stood waiting to get my achievement that I'd tried so hard over 3 grueling years, I stood in a glittering hallway with all of my peers, all of my past and hopefully future romances, my teachers who I admired so dearly. My name was called out. Well, at least someone's was. Allan Scho. Even then there were titters. We move on to my work life. And I have the great honour, nay privilege, of being able to work at BMA magazine. But even there, daily basis, the phone would ring and a jolt would go in my heart. I'd pick it up and I'd answer. I was always saying, is Allan Scho there? Day after day after day. This was my life, it seems. Until one day, a offhand comment from a former partner of mine put my life on a completely different track. Why don't you just change the spelling? Well, I mean, could be done, I guess. And there was precedent. This former partner of mine had her entire family change their last name. So they hailed from Prussia and Poland and had one of those beautifully long names in which you need to buy a vowel. And they decided collectively, as a family, what if they were to shorten it to the first 5 letters, and that would be their new moniker for their new country. Well, if they could do it, maybe I could. So I started thinking. I started doodling. Suddenly all the letters of the alphabet were like my toy box. I started rearranging them and putting them in different orders. What about S-C-O? Oh, no, that's Skoo. No, there can't be any room for error. No. Oh, what about a sexy K? Yeah, we stick that right in the middle. We've got S, we've got K, we've got O. I had to trial this to people, so I ran around, eager-eyed. What's that look like? What does that say? Sko, puzzled and frankly slightly scared people would tell me before hightailing it the opposite direction at quite a speed. I think I'd done it. So after a few conversations with certain people to see if that was okay, the hunt was on. So after a grueling week of going from passport office to the doe-eyed people at the Australian birth security and going to my poor, beleaguered bank manager, I changed every single official document that there was to SKO. I even had my shiny new birth certificate. A birth certificate! Which, to be honest, is surprisingly easy and cheap to do. So about 1 week, maybe 10 days later, the fateful call came that changed everything forever. The phone rang at the BMA offices. I picked it up, placed it to my ear, and for the first time in forever, someone said, "Is Allan Sko there?" It went into my ear canal and crawled into my heart, into my very soul. "Yes," I said, "I'm Allan Sko." Oh, there is one last thing though. About a week after that, a little thought has crept into my head, as thoughts are wont to do. I wonder if SKO means anything in native Denmark. So I jumped on Google and went to a Danish translator dictionary and popped in the old SKO and hit enter. And yes, it does mean something in native Denmark. Shoe. It means shoe. I had changed my name from Shoe to Shoe. Pays to check with your Danish dad about the spelling first, I guess.